Grid down. Cell towers dead. Internet gone. Your high-tech ham radio useless without repeaters and programming. In a real crisis, most preppers reach for gear they never practiced with, only to find it's just expensive dead weight. But that old CB radio stashed in your truck, no license, no fragile infrastructure, no fuss, just turn it on and talk. Today I'm breaking down 5 reasons why CB radio is the overlooked SHTF lifeline every prepper should have ready. Zero barriers, zero delay. Ham operators, bless their hearts, love to tell you to get your ticket. And sure, in normal times, that's sound advice. But let's talk about the reality of an emergency. Getting that ticket means weeks, sometimes months, of studying for a written exam. It means shelling out $16 or more for the privilege, and then dealing with an FCC database that might not even be operational or relevant when things truly go sideways. Do you really want to be sifting through study guides when the storm is already at your doorstep? Probably not. CB radio, on the other hand, just skips all that bureaucratic red tape and academic hurdles. You buy it, you power it up, and you talk. It's that simple. In a genuine bug-out situation, when seconds count and clarity is king, you can literally hand the microphone to your teenager, to your neighbor, or even to a complete stranger blocking the road. And they're on the air, communicating in 5 seconds flat. There's no examiner to impress, no vanity call sign to remember, and certainly no fear of inadvertently breaking some obscure Part 97 rule. When the bridge is out, the roads are impassable, and a hurricane or wildfire is bearing down on your community. Simplicity doesn't just beat sophistication. It absolutely crushes it every single time. It's about immediate, actionable communication, not a test of technical prowess. Now, let's be clear. Repeaters are absolutely fantastic in normal operating conditions. They take a weak signal and rebroadcast it with more power from an elevated position, extending range dramatically. But here's the kicker for preppers. Repeaters are infrastructure. They sit on towers, they require commercial power, and even if they have battery backups, those batteries will eventually fade. Ham repeaters often need fuel, require regular maintenance, and depend on permission to be accessed and kept operational. What happens when the power grid fails for an extended period? And what happens if the tower itself is damaged or if access is denied? They go silent. CB is fundamentally different. It's almost entirely simplex communication. Your signal travels straight from your radio to whoever's listening, directly. There's no middleman, no repeater to fail. You've got 40 channels to choose from, relying on line-of-sight ground wave propagation. You connect, you talk, you're done. Think about it. One sturdy 12-volt bulletproof radio, a simple wire antenna, and a car battery. That combination can keep an entire neighborhood in touch, coordinating efforts and sharing vital information. Long after those fancy linked repeater systems go dark and silent. If a communication system can't work without a complex, vulnerable infrastructure, it simply doesn't belong in your go-bag. Period. The reliability of CB in such scenarios makes it a critical tool for preppers. Let's talk budget, because for most preppers, Every dollar counts. Go browse any swap meet, yard sale, or even most truck stops, and you'll find perfectly functional CB radios for $20, maybe 50 if you want something a bit nicer. Antennas? You can literally make one out of fence wire, or grab a 9-foot whip antenna for next to nothing. Now, compare that to the entry point for a dual band ham handheld radio. You're looking at $80 minimum, and that price quickly climbs past $400 once you start adding essential accessories like spare batteries, programming cables, which you'll absolutely need, and a better antenna to actually make it useful. For the price of just one moderately capable ham rig, you could easily stash 5, 6, or even 7 CB radios. Imagine the redundancy. One in the truck, one in the tractor, one for your spouse's car, one tucked away in your kid's dorm room, and a couple of more sealed safely in a Faraday cage. Redundancy, my friends, wins wars. And cheap, accessible redundancy, that wins big on a prepper budget, allowing you to equip your entire family or survival group without breaking the bank. This low cost means you can afford to have multiple backup units, which is a huge advantage when primary systems fail. Here's a dose of reality. Prepper fantasies often cross oceans, imagining global communication networks. But in a real boots-on-the-ground emergency, most critical communications cross streets, neighborhoods, or, at most, the next county. CB radio reliably hits a range of 3 to 20 miles, depending heavily on terrain and your antenna setup. That's not some theoretical maximum. That's reliable range for immediate local needs. My choice of handheld CB radio. Stay connected and prepared with a Midland 75 AT22, a versatile 2-in-1 communication device that functions as both a handheld walkie-talkie and a mobile CB radio. Access all 40 CB channels for reliable communication and stay safe with the built-in No-A weather radio for instant severe weather alerts. Perfect for emergencies, outdoor adventures, or professional drivers. Its long-range capabilities and option to connect to an external antenna ensure dependable communication wherever you go. Simple to use and adaptable, the Midland 75 822 is your trusted link to the world. That range is more than enough to check on Aunt Carol 4 blocks away, to coordinate a convoy of vehicles getting out of town, or to keep 20 houses patched together for a vital night watch. You don't need to talk to New Zealand on 5 watts when the pharmacy 2 miles off needs volunteers, and you desperately need to know which roads are clear to get there. In fact, trying to communicate globally when your immediate neighborhood is in chaos is a classic case of misplaced priorities. For preppers, the ability to communicate effectively within their immediate area, to coordinate resources, share intelligence, and check on loved ones is paramount. CB excels at this, providing a dependable local communication lifeline. This is perhaps one of the most overlooked yet powerful advantages of CB. There are roughly 30 million CB radios already sitting out there in American garages, humming along in 18-wheelers and powering up in farm shops across the country. When things truly break down, when the cell towers are silent and the internet is a distant memory, those microphones are going to light up. Channel 9 still doubles as the unofficial roadside emergency channel, monitored by many, including some rural police and emergency services. Truckers, those unsung heroes of the highway, keep Channel 19 buzzing with real-time road conditions, hazards, and vital information. And in many communities, neighborhood patrols or local groups naturally gravitate to channels like 3, 6, or 14. That massive pre-existing installed base isn't just a number, it's an instant organic network, far bigger and more resilient than any ham club roster could ever hope to be. You won't be shouting into a void of silence. You'll be joining a conversation that, for many, never really stopped. It's a ready-made communication infrastructure that operates without needing external support. My choice of a great fixed CB radio, the Uniden PC68 LTX, 40-channel. CB radio is a versatile and user-friendly choice for a fixed CB radio setup. It offers 40 communication channels, a PA-CB switch for toggling between public address and CB modes, RF gain control to filter weak signals, and mic gain control for adjusting microphone sensitivity. The analog SRF meter monitors signal strength and power, while features like instant access to emergency channel 9, an automatic noise limiter, ANL, and a high-cut switch enhance audio quality and reduce interference, making it great for preppers and survivalists. Download your free Suburban Prepper checklist ebook today. Click the link in the description to get started and gain the knowledge you need to prepare for any situation. Don't wait. Take the first step toward becoming a better, more confident prepper now. But CB is only AM, full of skip and noise. I hear you. And yes, it's true. Solar cycle conditions can occasionally bring in distant stations. That's skip, making local communication a bit harder. And ignition whine from older vehicles is a real thing. I won't sugarcoat it. But here's the counterpunch. A $12 noise-canceling speaker mic and a properly tuned antenna will knock out most of that everyday noise. It's a simple, inexpensive fix. And for those who want to cut through even better, many CBs offer sideband SSB mode on the upper channels. SSB is incredibly efficient, offering significantly clearer communication with less than 4 watts of power. It's like turning down the background chatter so you can hear the important message. Ham guys might scoff and talk about their advanced digital modes, but when was the last time they actually tested their intricate setup on a cold, dark night with numb fingers struggling with tiny buttons, trying to communicate when the stakes were truly high? Practicality and simplicity often work best when fine motor skills are compromised. Simple, robust solutions win when conditions are anything but ideal. Let's lay it out clearly side by side. Cost. CB, you're typically looking at under $100 for a solid unit. Ham, easily triple that, sometimes 10 times more, just to get started with basic functionality. Licensed CB, none required. Buy it, use it. Ham, you need to pass a technician class exam at minimum, which takes time and effort. Range. CB, local, reliable, and solid for 320 miles. Perfect for neighborhood and regional comms. Ham, can go global, absolutely, but only if repeaters or up power is available or atmospheric HF conditions are cooperating, which is unpredictable. Learning curve, CB, channelized, intuitive, pick a channel, talk. Ham requires understanding of band plans, frequency offsets, CTC/SS tones, and often complex programming. Infrastructure dependence, CB, none needed. It's point-to-point. Ham often leans heavily on repeaters and the commercial power grid to achieve its vaunted range and features. Now honestly, pick the column that genuinely matches your personal threat model, your budget, and your actual preparedness philosophy. For immediate, dependable local communication, when everything else has failed, one choice stands out. Let me share a story that isn't some hypothetical what if. Remember that devastating tornado that ripped through a rural part of Kentucky? Power was gone. Cell towers were mangled beyond recognition. It was chaos. The local volunteer fire department had 2 ham repeaters, which under normal circumstances would have been invaluable. But without mains power and with their backup generators either out of fuel or damaged, both repeaters were completely dark, silent. Within an hour of the storm passing, something incredible happened. Neighbors, many of whom hadn't touched their CBs in years, fired them up in their trucks and homes. They started communicating, coordinating in real time. They formed human bucket brigades to help clear debris, organized for water distribution, and ensured the elderly and vulnerable were checked on and supplied with necessities. One 18-year-old with just a simple handheld CB walkie-talkie tuned to an agreed-upon tornado channel was talking tree removal crews through blocked roads, guiding them to where they were most needed. There were no call signs exchanged, no complex band plans consulted, just raw, effective communication that saved houses, provided comfort, and quite possibly saved lives. This wasn't about a hobby, it was about survival, facilitated by simple, accessible tech. Now, if you're thinking, okay, but I want a little more punch, CB still has you covered, and without the paperwork. Want more range? Add a 20-foot gutter antenna to your house, or a robust 7-foot fire stick antenna to your vehicle. Run SSB, single sideband, on channel 38, and suddenly you'll be hitting 30 miles or more, even mobile. Want to stay off grid for weeks? Pair your CB with 100-watt, 12-volt battery and a folding solar panel. You've now got a self-sufficient, long-duration communication system. It's still license-free, still significantly cheaper than even a basic ham all-band radio, and still incredibly effective for local and regional communication. You can upgrade, enhance, and customize your CB setup without ever needing to worry about a license exam or regulatory hurdles. That, my friends, is prepper heaven. Look, ham radio is undeniably a brilliant hobby. It's a deep, rewarding dive into the science and art of radio, offering incredible tools and capabilities for those who dedicate themselves to it. And if you already have your license, if you're actively practicing and maintaining your skills and gear, then by all means, keep it up. It has its place. But if you're starting cold, if you're on a tight budget, if you're wisely budgeting both your time and your cash, and if what you really need is something that works the minute the world tilts on its axis, something that's simple, reliable, and immediately accessible for critical local communication, then CB is unequivocally the smarter, more practical first step. No exam to pass, no repeaters to rely on, and no mercy from the clock. Just twist the knob, talk, and know that your tribe, your family, and your community are all on the same 40 channels, ready to coordinate and respond. So here's your actionable takeaway. Stock at least 5 CBs, stash away some spare fuses, and invest a little time in learning how to tune a simple SWR meter. You'll have bought the cheapest, most effective communication insurance on the spectrum. It's a small investment for a massive return in peace of mind and real-world capability. Got a different take? Maybe you swear by ham, or perhaps you're a carrier pigeon enthusiast. Drop your reasons, whatever they are, in the comments below. I want to hear your perspective. And don't forget to subscribe for more no-fluff prepper comms insights. I'll catch you on Channel 3, sideband quiet hours. This is survival. This is resilience. This is Suburban Prepper.